What up, though? What up, though? Led here. It's prediction time again, people. So yeah, let's get right into it. RBE Entertainment Mad versus Serius card is going down this Saturday in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're in the area, definitely pop up and show love and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get right into these predictions. I'm gonna start off with the 1SKs. I feel like they're trying their best to bring some new talent onto their platform, or some talent that maybe under the radar a bit, overlooked a bit, and they're just trying to create some nice looks for them, and I appreciate that. So we're gonna start off with Granddaddy Perp. He's out of Indy, and I remember him. His last battle was versus Verb, and he caught Verb on at the wrong time. In my humble opinion, Verb was on one that battle. I believe he also battled like T-Top a few years ago. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. So he has some names under his belt. He's going against somebody named Young B More. I've seen two of his battles. Probably the last battle I seen was versus E Hart, and E Hart was just a little too much for him, a little more seasoned to him. Hopefully this time around he shows a little bit more composure, because I felt he was a little flustered in that battle. Some of the reactions, he didn't get love, and I can tell, you can see he felt the way about it. So hopefully he's a little more composed. But based off what I've seen from both gentlemen, I'm gonna roll with Granddaddy Perp in this one. And yeah, I think he's gonna win that pretty clearly. He's gonna show a little more poise in this battle. Next battle is LL Cool G. LL Cool G is, and excuse me, Young B More is from obviously B More, so that goes without saying. So the next battle is LL Cool G, man. He's out of Milwaukee, and he is nice, all right. And he will be going against KT, who, if I remember correctly, is from the Atlanta area. He's from Atlanta, Georgia, so he will have some people in the building, I'm sure, rooting them on, cheering them on, and showing love. Last time I seen KT probably wasn't that long ago. Actually, it was probably versus Marv One, I want to say, and it was a good battle. He showed some delivery, some presence. Wasn't scared of the moment. He came in attack mode. He fared pretty well in that battle. And LL Cool G, I've seen him versus XL, Billy Boondocks, 40 Bars, and he's very well rounded, nice energy, really good puncher. I'm gonna roll with Cool G in this one, but I think it's going to be probably the best 1SK battle thus far out of all the 1SK battles that they done had on their cards. In my humble opinion, I'm just going out on a limb. LL Cool G versus KT will be their best 1SK battle yet. All right. So now let's get into the card, the main cards, right? And y'all know how I do. I work from what I feel is going to be the worst battle to the battle of the night. Or I wouldn't say the worst battle, just in order. It might just rank last. It could still be a quality battle. So here we go. And keep in mind, what I feel the battle of the night might not be the main event. So we'll see. Let's go. Start off with Rosenberg Raw versus Craig Lamar. Now, the reason I got it so low is because I just haven't seen Raw battle in so long. He might show a little ring rust, and then you combine that with Craig Lamar, who isn't the most consistent when it comes to completing all his rounds and getting all his material out. So it might not be a fluid battle, every round solid, flawless battle, and in that case it might drop down on the list. That's why I got it at the bottom. All that being said, I will go with Rosenberg Raw in this one with a clear 2-1. Feel like his aggression, his bully like demeanor, and his straightforward approach will kind of nullify some of Craig Lamar's creativity. And yeah, and I do feel like Craig Lamar is going to slip up in this battle again, which will cost him a round. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't look forward to that type of stuff happening, because I want to see clean rounds and professionalism. But I just got a funny feeling, man. He ain't going to be able to pull it off again. So I'm going to go with Raw 2-1 clearly. Next battle I got on the list, Mr. Mills versus Dre Dennis. Dre Dennis is extremely active, especially on his platform, which is Gates of the Garden. And he's nice, man. He's shown the ability to level up. He's put in some quality performances. And as for Mr. Mills, I feel like this is like a second chance. This little run that he's got. Now, he was scheduled to battle Rosenberg Raw on an RBE card, but that didn't go down. But he was able to battle B Magic outside, in like a VOD special type of battle on RBEs. I want to say the card that had Bill Collector versus Hitman, but I could be mistaken. But I seen the battle and he did really good in that battle. I expect him to try to carry that momentum. This is more of his platform than it is Dre Dennis, so I feel like he's going to be a little more comfortable, and he's going to edge this battle 2-1. 2-1, Mr. Mills over Dre Dennis. Moving on, I got Swave Seva versus Bad News. This battle could be either surprisingly good or it can be a snoozer. We don't know. I know people are a little critical of Bad News when he's not on Bullpen Battle League. People don't think he's as fire. But I think his aggression and him, the more he's with Cave Gang, I feel like the better he'll get. I feel like Cave Gang, when you get in that crew, you can't help but become a better writer and a better performer. And it might show up in this battle or it might show later on. Swave is a vet, though, however. I don't see him losing to a guy that's not a new guy per se. He didn't just burst on the scene this year, but who just don't have nearly the experience that Swave does. So I'm going to go with Swave with a clear 2-1 in this one. I just feel like he's going to be too much for him. You can't bark on a guy whose demeanor that calm and that's also a street guy. It can just systematically break you down each round and tell you about yourself. And I don't think Bad News has had that happen to him just yet. And it's going to be different, man. I'm going to go with Swave. Swave 2-1 clearly in that one. Next matchup I want to talk about is J Murder versus YK, Young Cannon. This is a very, very unique battle, just a total contrast in swag, rap, slow, comedic performance, aura type of style that J Murder got versus just bar after bar and aggression that Young Cannon has just... He's just been Young Cannon since he came into the game. Nothing really changes. And for that, I know bar for bar, a lot of people will probably pick Cannon, but I'm actually going to go with J Murder in this one. I feel like the difference in Young Cannon pulling this off and O-Red, when I feel like O-Red won, is O-Red has very little comedic timing, but he can be a little more witty. He also rebutted. I feel like Young Cannon is just straight. Here's my material. I'm gonna spit it, and I'm gonna spit it real mean. I'm gonna bark on you real mean, and then I'm gonna go home. I don't know how much of that is gonna play to that crowd who wants to be entertained. In Atlanta, you gotta entertain a little bit. So I feel like J Murder is gonna have bars that hit, and he's gonna know how to play to the crowd a bit. So I think J Murder might win this one with a 2-1 edge. So I'm going to roll with that. Next matchup, I actually got the main event. So I got to be in the third best battle of the night. Mav Hoffa versus Serius Jones. A lot of animosity there. At the end of the day, it comes down to who wants it more. And y'all know my theory, man. I always tend to lean to the person who wanted the battle, who got a lot more to say to you than you got to say to them. I feel like Serius Jones is going to have a lot to say to Mav. A lot to say to Mav. Now, what's worrying me is, excuse me, how emotional he's been. So I hope he is able to channel that in and hone that in and just focus on his material and not get too crazy with the physicality or trying to prove how tough he is. So I'm going to go with Serius Jones. I'm a little iffy about it, as you can tell, but I got to stick to my theory of the guy who wants to battle the most probably is going to write with a little more intent and be a little more direct and be a little more aggressive. So I'm gonna go with Serius on this one. 2-1 edge, but I wouldn't be shocked if Mav ended up winning. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Serius in this one. The next battle I have this will be the second best battle of the night in my opinion. Emerson Kennedy versus Oops. Dope battle. In this, Emerson Kennedy is traveling from the west to come rock out to the south. Oops is a RBE like veteran, RBE face, if you will, one of the faces of that platform. When you think RBE, Oops has to come to mind when you think of the MCs that grace that stage. Emerson Kennedy, I feel like, is in better form of recent note. I wasn't really overly, I guess, impressed with Oops versus Active on King of the Dot, nor was I impressed that much with him versus Craig Lamar, besides that third round. So I'm going to go with Emerson Kennedy being the guy in better form, the better writer, and I think he's going to be able to convey the same type of material that Oops does, but he's just going to be a little quicker to the punch, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like content-wise, they can match each other, but I feel like EK is going to be a little more quicker to the punch, and I feel like he's going to get his material out a little more clean. I don't know if Oops can get through all three of his rounds clean. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm going to roll with EK, and I'm going to say a clear 2-1. I don't think it's going to be an edge. I think he's going to clearly win the 2 rounds he's supposed to win, all right? That leads me to what I feel is going to be the battle of the night. Ill Will versus T-Rex. When I seen this matchup on the card, that's what really got me like, damn, this is a good one. And Ill Will has been he's been one of the most consistent battlers over, I would say, the past year or two. And he's not getting that much credit for it. I'm not understanding why, but he's been quietly consistent and entertaining and having bars and beating like notable names. So I feel like he's well deserving of going against a legend that is T-Rex, and might bring out the best in him once again. As for T-Rex, I don't know if for those who was a bit under the clouds and not knowing what's going on when battles aren't happening, he did deal with an accident and he was in the hospital for a while. So I just heard him on Nord's podcast. It seemed like the battle was still going down, and before then he battled Bill Collector and he looked really sharp, really impressive, much better than his Reed performance. So I'm looking forward to it, man. All that being said, I'm going to go with Ill Will 2-1. I am. I think Ill Will's just in better form. I feel like he won't be in awe of the Rex aura. Also, it's in Atlanta. If this was in New York, I probably would have said Rex. If they was at Club Drum, I probably would have said Rex. Even though Ill Will is a RBE name that people are accustomed to seeing there, if that was in New York, that building would shake, man, if Rex was there getting crazy. You know what I'm saying? But being that it's in Atlanta, I feel like it's neutral territory. I do feel like Atlanta is a crowd that is there to be entertained. So, yes, you got to have bars, but if you got some comedy in your shit, I feel like that'll win over with that crowd. And if you've seen my top 5 funniest battlers, I got like Ill Will at like 3. Because he can really say some funny ass shit and then get right back into his like dark bar for bar gun shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's well rounded. And then he can rebuttal some shit too. And Rex has never been that type of multifaceted, well rounded guy, although he's still a legend. But I'm going to go with an edge 2-1 in that one. And that's really going to be my battle of the night. Like, we'll see. Could be wrong. Who knows? It's just for fun. We're just predicting, talking, kicking it, So that's it, man. I think the card will end up being a solid card. It's not going to be like the card of the year, in my opinion, but I think it's going to be a solid card, respectable card. So shout out to the staff, Adam, Shada, Lawrence, and everybody over there doing good work. And that's it, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at PodTier. And please, please, please check out the podcast that I drop once, maybe even twice a week on all your streaming services, okay? So enjoy the pay-per-view. And if you're in attendance, be safe and enjoy the atmosphere. And everybody enjoy their weekend. And as always, keep it battle rap. Love.